Aloha, good morning. Let me just take a minute before we continue. So, the garden is a bit of a mess. A big mess. It's not a bit of a mess, it's a big mess. But it's an intentional mess. If you remember last week, I mentioned that I don't have a layout for the garden yet. And I still don't. It's the 2nd of May today, so I need to get things going. However, I've brought out the plants. We're going to experience a week of rain, bits of sunshine, some cloudy weather. It's a little bit cold, but the plants can handle it. I brought them out last night, so they've had a night outside, which is the first time they've experienced nighttime outside. They've held up really well, and some of them died back, but I'll show you all of that now. But yeah, let's get going, because it's a big mess back here. It's a big mess, but it's intentional. It's an intentional mess. So let's go. Let me take you around on this gorgeous foggy morning. Got some coffee that I'll be drinking in between, and yeah, let's have a look at the garden before everything changes next week, because this is the last time you'll see the garden like this. Next week, everything will be, by God's grace, where they're supposed to be, in their spots, and growing. So let me take you around. Let me show you what's going on. Let's go. So when I said the garden was a mess, this is what I meant. Where are the currants? Where is everything else? This is the overview of the garden in its messy states. Got the neighbor's cat joining us this morning. Cute. Those are the currants, and they're the blueberries, and these are the plants. All over, everywhere. So the garden, this side of the garden at least, is a bit messy. Just so you can see what we're working with at the very start of May. And like I said, this won't be here next week. This is just the interim whilst I'm still deciding on what to do with the plants. It's the first time I've grown cucumbers and melons and butternut squash and things that vine, so I need to know what to do with them. Last year, all I had was my makeshift bamboo and wire trellis that I used for the tomatoes, and that worked very well. So I'm thinking of repeating the same thing. However, I'm not sure if I'm going to use pots or grow bags for the cucumbers and melons and squash and courgettes. So let's take a quick tour. So though I watered the buddleia yesterday, it's also really appreciated the dose of rain that we've got. It wasn't a lot of rain. I'm sure it was just a sprinkle, and judging by the soil, it's not too sopping wet, but I can tell that it rained, so they're really enjoying that. A bit of a break from the intense sunshine. It was 21 degrees yesterday in the heat of the day, so I'm sure all the plants are now loving this sprinkle of rain that they've received. And the yarrow, I'm not going to harvest it like I wanted to last year. I might repot it because I've seen spiders in there, and I've seen new growth like this. So I'm going to give it another year. I'll give it more compost and just gonna let it get bigger and bigger, and then next year I'll just harvest everything and use it for tea. The figs, look at this growth. How stunning, how lush, how beautiful. How gorgeous is this? And even if we don't get any figs, at least there'll be lots of leaves for me to make fig syrup out of. How luscious are they? So beautiful. And I love it when leaves do this, when they just capture rain. How stunning is that? I think it's so beautiful. And the animals can come and drink. I love that. So the dandelion has already grown and set seed. I've seen people using these dandelion stems for pasta. I'm not sure if I'm going to experiment with that one. We'll see if I have enough stems, but yeah, they use it as spaghetti. And I can't imagine the texture, I can't imagine the taste. I might try it just to say that I've tried it and to see what it's like. But I cannot imagine these as pasta. And as a pasta spaghetti lover, skeptical on that one. But we'll see, we'll see. As you can see, got the seed head there. Ready to sprinkle everywhere and anywhere I can go. And create seed and weeds. But those weeds are medicinal. How beautiful. I had to stop the video briefly just to take a picture of that dandelion because it looks so pretty. Look at the rosemary. I had to water it the other day because the new growth was flailing around, as was the oregano. They were just flailing, bless them, but I've at least watered them, and the rain has also helped me out. These dandelion leaves I might harvest, but we'll see. Parsley still here, as is the oregano, but I'm going to preserve them in herb oil. That's what I've decided to do because we don't have the dehydrator just yet. So herb oil is the best way. And then that will also give a chance for another round of shoots to come out. But like I said, the garden, it's not that I've neglected it, but I'm just waiting because I know that if I come out every day, I'll get impatient and just start moving. So the best way is for me to do it slowly, take time, give the garden time to settle in for the spring, and make a proper plan. This is the buddleia and it's growing beautifully. I'm so excited with hopes that it might give us flowers this year. So excited. Here we are. Gorgeous oregano. I've survived, well, it's survived multiple heat waves this week and it just keeps growing nice and strong for us. And moving on to the mints, it's also growing, very bushy and beautiful. Might make some mojitos soon with this because it's looking so lush. Some fojitos, should I say, no hitos, because I'm not really drinking as much anymore. So yeah, I'll use this for mocktails and delicious drinks that hubby and I can enjoy. I've also got the sage. It's also grown beautifully. I had to rescue this one as well because the sun just got to it. And that's another thing about growing in pots. Because the pots are so small, they can dry out very quickly. So you just need to keep an eye on things like herbs, because if the pot is not big enough, they don't have enough water, they're susceptible. So you have to baby plants in pots more than you think. The thyme has resurrected as well, and it's looking bushier and greener than before, which I am so in love with. I love this. I suspect that the thyme and the rosemary are going to take off this year. I was worried about them over winter, but all this growth gives me so much hope. So much hope. Moving on to the strawberries, starting with the mother. This plant just keeps giving, and it's huge as well. Look at the heights. So big, so full. Berries in abundance coming out. More flowers looking to produce. Got berries here. Everywhere, really. More there as well. Very, very productive. And all I do is I just keep feeding it. And I've repotted it twice in its lifetime. It used to be very small. And yeah, I've just kept repotting it. And there you go. It's huge, it's beautiful, it's lush, and it's producing, which is what matters. Moving on to the babies that I propagated last year. So as you can tell, these are still quite small because these are only a year old. This one is very, very small because it died back in the heat. However, if you look at these ones from the same mother plant, look at how big the strawberry leaf is. That is crazy. That is insane. This is bigger than the mothers. How wild. It's as big as my hand. That is crazy. Which means that we're going to get lots of production this year and perhaps some runners as well, because I believe these are 2 years old. And berries are coming, flowers are coming. There's more growth towards the bottom as well. This one I believe is a year old. You can just tell, look at the size difference. The size difference is wild. 2 years old, 1-year-old baby. But they're going to get huge, and with any luck, I'll be able to transplant them just like I did the mum and have huge plants that will just give me runners upon runners upon runners for years to come. This lavender, my hope has dwindled. I can speak life into it and it will come back to life. Should we try it? Lavender, I command you to come back to life in Jesus' name. Amen. My faith needs to work with this one. My faith needs to work with this one because I've seen lavender out and about and their leaves are already out. Some are even getting ready to send flowers. However, mine, I've spoken life to it. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. And the rest of the garden, like I said, it's a big work in progress. But let's move anyway, because these pots will be filled by the next garden tour. I've got all the empty pots of old compost from last year. They'll be filled. I'm not revealing any garden plants yet because, like I said, I've got about 80% of what I want to plant and where. But for now, let's wait and see. We'll see together. We'll wait and see together. The peppers that I overwintered, guys, look, there is a pepper. It looks like it will be a cayenne. I'm torn still, actually. The reason why is because it's long enough to look like a cayenne. However, the way it's rounding out, it might be a bell pepper, like a, they call it shombo in Yoruba, like a long pointed bell pepper as opposed to a round one. And there's still lots and lots of flowers to come, more peppers coming already from the flowers that opened inside. Look, got pepper there. So beautiful. I'm so happy this worked. And even if we don't have several, at least we have 2 started at the start of the season. I can be using them as supplements in food. This will not be enough to make all our dishes, for sure. However, it's still something to supplement. With this size of a garden, and for as long as I've gardened, I've come to realize that this is still a hobby scale. Really, really is. I have dreams of being able to grow food on a vast amount of land for my family that we can actually use and replace our grocery shop with that. However, in this scale, the most I can do, which is why I'm switching to it this year, will be greens. I'll be able to supplement a lot of our greens. However, in terms of vegetables like peppers and tomatoes, there's no way. It's only a supplement. Greens possibly can replace them whilst they're growing actively, but actual vegetables to make stew, onions and garlic, and not in this scale, not in these pots. So I'll just come to terms with that, really. And that's also why A few weeks ago, I was mourning the fact that I had an allotment and then didn't have an allotment, and so I thought, oh, the food I could have grown. But I just need to appreciate where I am now and be grateful that I can still grow. I'm happy with what I have, and supplementation is better than nothing at all. So anywhere you are, grow. A season will come where you'll be able to grow more. However, in this season, this is what I have and this is what I'm going to do, and I'm happy with it. The fact that I can still come out here and enjoy my hobby and still produce food for our family is a blessing. It's a blessing. I'm just walking over things, walking through dangerous things. Look, my feet are just, yeah, need to watch my step with this one. But it is well. I'll make it through. Let's keep going. So I had a sip of coffee and then made it through the jungle of things. And I can just move them around. I really could, but that's for later on today. And just to show you guys, the gardening is not perfect and it's not easy. And you'll have seasons where there are things that need to be done, but you have life to live, and it takes over your time. However, when I come out in the garden, when I have time for it, it gives me peace, it gives me joy, it gives me movements. I see things growing and I love it. So it is worthwhile. Remember last week I said I'm going to come and harvest the chard? I missed my window. On some of them at least. I might still be able to harvest some, because I saw butterflies and then I also saw eggs. So they've been laying. Actually, this one looks really, really good. Another reason why I love the red, because it seemed to be, oh look, see the white cluster just there? Those are eggs. I'm pretty sure it's from a butterfly that is laid. I saw a white butterfly, so it'll be a white cabbage. Butterfly, let's see. That's why I said I missed my window, because they've laid their eggs already. And when this happens, I don't fight them, because like I said, nature, I'm trying to be more, how can I say it? Not forgiving. Forgiving is a good word, actually. I'm trying to be more forgiving to nature and be more accepting of the cycle of things, because I didn't cover these. If I wanted to eat them that desperately, I should have pre-planned and covered them. I didn't. They found a home for their babies and they laid their eggs. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to harvest these, but not to eat. I'm just going to put them away from the main garden, but give the babies a chance to grow. And then they will also continue their life cycle and I'll get my pots back. And the chard was bolting anyway. This is the white one. This is what happens in the heat of summer. It just rises, 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 tries to set seed. This is what we call bolting. And it can make the leaves a bit bitter, but it's just the life cycle of the plants. It's just trying to live, doing what it does best. Moving on to the tayberries. A lot of the flowers have come out. I can't see any crazy aphidness. That's the only word I had for it. Look at that spider. Don't know if you can see it. Beautiful. See, I think spiders have no business being inside a house, but in the garden, I really don't mind them. I find them fascinating, actually. It's just not in the house. Thank you. Look at the tayberry, so beautiful. And that is a tayberry. It has set, it's been pollinated. I think there's another one back there. The ants did good. The ants and the aphids did good. Let me lean this against there once more. I don't want it to break. And the loganberries are also opening their flowers. I did say I need to put this back just so that the ones at the back can be pollinated, and I'll do that today. Today is my day of being in the garden. I've had a busy week, but I'm back now. I am back in the garden this week. So all this is going to be trellised the best I can. And then hopefully the pollinators can get inside the mass of leaves and pollinate some berries so that we can have more, especially where the currants, ta-da, have been munched and devoured by the pigeons. Oh, and look at them. The culprits, just as I said it, the culprits came out to show their face, but I can't do anything about them, so like I said, forgiven. Forgiven the animals. Forgiven the animals. Testing my patience, but it's okay. Let's move on to the seedlings. So here they are. Okay, let's start with the oldest ones actually. I'm so excited with the babies, but let's start with these. So these are the ones that have been living inside. You can tell they are so ready for a bigger pot. They are ready. These are the melons. And I'm so happy they grew. These are Petit Gris de Rennes. And I'm sure, yep, you can see the roots poking out there. They're ready to go to a bigger pot, ready to produce. So that's what I need to do for them. The ones with the tendrils are cucumbers. You can see they're also ready. I'm so happy with the size of them because when they got sun scald like this, I wasn't sure if they will survive. Even some of the courgettes and the butternut squash, I'm going to keep in here until they get much bigger because this is the courgettes. The ones with the chopsticks are the butternut squash. I don't know if they'll survive, but I'm going to keep them in there until they do. This is another courgette. This is a cucumber, I believe. Yes, this is a cucumber. So I've got 3 cucumbers with the tendrils. I've got 3 melons at the back. I've got 2 courgettes here. Butternut squash, courgette. The rest of these 5 are aubergines. I've got the calendula as well. Then moving on to these guys. These are the latest sowings. These are when I went a bit crazy and said, they're not crazy, wild, and said, let me just plant all the seeds. This is the fruition so far. So the thicker stemmed ones are courgettes. So I've got 3 more courgettes coming. And I know what you're thinking. Why are you planting so many courgettes? For storage, like I said. Courgettes in the supermarkets are so expensive and I love eating them. So I want lots for fresh eating and some for storage. I want to use some for zucchini bread, zucchini cakes, etc., etc. So we will definitely use them and we'll also gift them to family and friends. These are cucumbers. So you can tell some of them were not very happy with me putting them out in the sun because I only transplanted these a few days ago, so their roots hadn't really settled. However, they might bounce back, they might not. I'll see what happens, but at least we have a couple more. So that's plenty more to go out. And then here we have the rest of the seedlings. So let's start with the oldest. We've got the tomatoes. Sun Baby and Red Cherry growing there. I've got lots and lots of basil. I've got some kale. This is curly kale. And we do have more curly kale here. So the greens this year are thriving. 1 spinach came out. We might have another one there maybe. I don't think that's spinach, but 1 spinach came out. Got some more basil here. That's a red opal basil. This is Prakoche kale. We'll see what happens to that one. This, I think this is Prakoche as well. This one and this one are Prakoche. Nothing's come up yet. And this is a Physalis, Cape Gooseberry. Nothing's come out yet. We might have a Market More cucumber trying to poke its head out. But the rest of what I sowed haven't come out. Got some peppers that have come out. So this is great. I just touched a snail. I thought so. So these are all sweet peppers here. So we might have some more sweet peppers, but we'll see. I'm very excited. And all this here is Echinacea. This is a randoma, don't know what that is, but this is Echinacea. These are all full of flowers. This is the poached eggplant, and I realized I forgot to show you them, but I'll show you them now. So this is my second round of poached eggplants. The first round that I grew at the same time as the melons and cucumbers died on me because I fried them in the sun. But the second round seemed to be doing very well. So we'll have lots of flowers in the garden, self-sown. Might supplement with some marigolds, we'll see. But for now, this is what we have. And we have echinacea as well. Hopefully they grow so I can use them in the winter for cold remedies, etc. And here we have our beetroots. So these guys have been hardened off truly and thoroughly. I made a mistake with them because I sewed them all inside in the egg cartons and they just got really leggy. So I've learnt my lesson. Like, this one is really leggy, but it might still produce because I can see more leaves have come out. This one as well got really leggy, but the rest look really good. The reason why I transferred them into this pot size is because I'm going to keep them in here. So the beetroots will grow to fill these pots. So we don't want them really big because I want to harvest them for smoothies. I grew them for my husband really because he likes like a beetroot juice. It's very nice and refreshing for him. So beetroot and carrot smoothies, beetroot and carrot juice. So I'm going to do that for him. So once these fill out, I'll probably do a second sowing. So as we're harvesting, we're sowing again. I've forgotten the term for it. Succession planting. So we'll be succession planting the beetroots and see how they go. I have a different kind of beetroot to put in here. They've got a deeper taproot, so that'll be fun and interesting to see how they grow. So I've actually got to go in and do some work now. So I'm going to have to leave the tour where I've done it till, which is the beetroots. Then when I come back out later on, we might have different weather. It might be raining. I don't know what's going to happen today. They've predicted cloudy weather and rain, but we'll see what happens. Then I will continue with the currants, the blueberries, and also the apples, all the fruit trees, and also out in the front garden as well. So cheers. And yes, this is, it does say Mr. because this is my husband's cup. Our lovely family bought it for us for our wedding day. Mine, I used it so often that one time I was picking it up and then it just fell to the floor and the handle cracked. So I've just been using my husband's. But yes, I love these mugs. I've been using them all the time, and I'm gonna keep this one safe because it's the last one that we have. The other one I might repair it. I'll find a way to do that. But yeah, let's go inside. The sun decided to come out, guys. How beautiful. Aloha, I'm back out. I've just finished work and I am now going outside to show you the fruit trees. The sun tried to come out. It succeeded for about 20 minutes and then it went back in again. So now we've still got the clouds, but that's fine because it's dry and there's still work to be done. So let's go outside and let me show you the fruit trees. Ta-da-da! A lot of I've just spotted a pear. Oh my gosh. A lot of the leaves are coming out. You can tell the grapevines there. Leaves are coming out. And the figs, the leaves have already come out. I can see the morning, nope, mock orange. I can see it dried up a little bit, but let me take you in for a closer look. Jenny is always looking lush. So this is how she starts out at the start of the season, and she looks lush and full. Then later on she goes down a little bit, but it's okay because I think last year she struggled because she wasn't in her own pot, but now she's in a bigger pot and I think she's going to do well for me this year, hopefully so. We've got some grapes that I put towards the back of by the wall. And as you can tell, lots of leaves have come out and they are ready to shoot off and vine. So I need to figure out a trellising system for the grapes as well. I am basically probably going to do what I did with the tomatoes and just put some wire and then just aligned the grapevines to it, because that's all I can do for now. They're quite big, I can't just cut them. So I'll find a way to make that work and see what happens. Moving on to the fig tree. So this is a fig, this is another fig. They're both brown turkey, but they're different plants. So this one is more spread out over this side, and then this one is this tall fig right here with the figlets. So cute. And this looks like a figlet, but I'm not going to get excited. It could be leaf, could be leaves trying to blossom, but or trying to open, but nope, I'm not going to get my hopes up. I'm going to wait and see what happens. Here we are. Some music has started next door, so I'm just going to video these plants and then I will do a voiceover to avoid any copyright. Now in the back garden we have all our trees. So this is our apple tree, and I'm a little bit disappointed because these blooms that you see here, these are all that we got from the tree. All the other trees have their blooms and they have the greenery now. However, I was a little bit disappointed with the apple tree because I just felt like last year we had so many blooms, but this year we barely have any. And then this year we had cherries, as you can see here. These are all the ladybirds. We have cherries, we have crab apples, and I expected the apple tree to do just as well as last year or even better. But it really didn't perform for me, and I don't know why. I don't know if it's because it's happy and it's in a bigger pot, so it's now setting out growth so that it can fill the pots and then produce more flowers next year. Not sure, we'll see. So this is the mock orange. It's very, very thirsty, as you can see. We had a few days of hot weather and it just dried up. Oh, look at the dandelion. So beautiful. So beautiful. Wispy, feathery. Let's just sow it here. So going back to the fruit trees, we've had beautiful growth. So this is a cherry again. You see it's green, but at least we have, let's say, 4 cherries. The apple tree really, really, really looks healthy, but no blossoms. I think we only had 3 or 4 blossoms. So hopefully those 3 or 4 fruits will be huge for us this year. As you can see, the pear tree is looking beautiful. We have lots of fruits set, and I just pray that the fruits they go to full term, basically. That's the only way I could describe that. I pray the fruits swell and they give us more than one, the one that we had last year, more than one this year. It looks very, very healthy. It's also setting more, so I just pray that it goes well, at least for the pear tree this year. And as ever, look at the crabapple. I'm so happy to see all these crabapple fruitlets on there. I don't know how many will go to full term. However, just the fact that they're there makes me so happy. And this could be a sign that this is the year for crabapples. Last year was the year for Brabers. This year is for crabapples. So this is the rest of the garden. This is an elderberry tree. So this patch of the garden, we have all these native trees coming through. We have all the nettle, we have dandelions. Last year I made some elderberry syrup from that tree, and elderflower syrup, sorry, and then elderberry syrup as well for winter. So I made both actually, and they served us well. We still have some elderberry syrup left and looking to make more this year as well. Ta-da! You know, I told you last week that these flowers should be coming out, and have a look at these beauties. Let's see if the scent, oh, the scent is coming. The scent is coming. My goodness, it's going to look so beautiful once it's all sprawled out all over the canopy. The flowers will be everywhere. All these little trumpets here will become flowers. It's going to look so gorgeous. And the smoke bush as well is bushing out. Can't wait to show you the frills and how soft and feathery these are. Waiting for it to just do its thing. I've already fed them, I've watered them, so the plants are very, very healthy. They're happy. Look at that burgundy, that rich burgundy. It's almost translucent. Look at that. How gorgeous. So, so beautiful. And then this is the second rhododendron, the luteum. Look at that flower formation. How gorgeous is that? So beautiful. God's creation is stupendous. How can you not look at that and marvel? And they last such a short amount of time. I've just broken one as well by leaning in too close. It's okay, it will fertilize the rest. But yeah, they only last a short, about a month and a half. But whilst they're here, they just produce such gorgeous blooms. That's why I can't get rid of the plants. So, so beautiful. The Mahonia is growing strong. This wasn't there last week. I don't remember that being there. But the crown head that was there last week, look at how much it's grown in that time. Just 1 week, it's grown so much. And I don't know if we'll get one from here, but we'll see. And here, look at this. It's hardening off. I can feel the spikes. Yep, the spikes have developed. It took about 3 weeks, didn't it, for it to develop, but it's growing so nicely. It's such an interesting plant. Got bits that have broken off. This is definitely very spiky, so let me be careful. Let me not break the plant. You know, you keep pulling and you just know that if you keep tugging, it will just go. Let me leave it alone. So the same issue with the back. The morning glories, nope. Mock oranges, there we go. The mock oranges, they need water because they're in this pot as well. So they dry out very, very quickly, and we've had lots of days of very, very hot weather, so they need water. This one is not holding off too bad, but I can see the blooms are looking to come out. Can't wait to show these when they're in bloom. They're so beautiful. And look, gorgeous dandelion again. Can we just take a moment to appreciate God's handiwork? How stunning is that? Just so stunning. Just removed a lot of the seeds, but wow, just wow. Let me help it along a little bit. Just pull it and just drop it along. It's not going to go very far, but the wind might disperse it into all the different cracks. So beautiful. And I've just seen this does not belong in this plant pot. It's a weed, and the mock orange doesn't have enough space as it is, so I can't have this growing in there. But I will leave it on the side because I'm going to come out here this week and clear all of this, all of the greenery, just to polish it out, make it look good. The horsetail is coming out, but I harvested lots last year, so I'm just going to leave it to grow. Once all these dandelions die back, the horsetail tends to take over and grow between the cracks, but I'll let it grow and cut it down. These look so pretty, the Herb Roberts. Look at the gorgeous flower that they produce. So pretty. Even the stripes. Oh, God is so good. So I'll just tidy this side up, but that's a next week job. Well, this week, but you guys will see it's next week. And you'll also see how quickly the herb Roberts grows as well. Not the herb Roberts, sorry, the horsetail. Look at this. This is full of silica. Great for the bones. Great for hair. But I've got lots in the house already. Oh, sunshine. Oh, yes. Oh, thank you, Lord Jesus. I get to work in the sunshine. It's now time for me to start tidying this back garden, making it look semi-decent. I came up with a vague plan whilst I was working. So before I do that and work in the garden, I forgot to video the berries and the currants. So the reason why I've moved them over to this side is because my plan is to keep them against the wall so that I can put some netting over them, just so I can stop the pigeons from decimating these fruits once they do come in. So this is the black currant. I actually moved it from this position to the other side because it's quite shaded by all the other bushes. This is what's left of the pink currants. And we have quite a lot in there, so the pigeons didn't absolutely destroy everything. Actually, this one might be the red currants. This is the red currants. The fact that it looks so healthy tells me it's the red currants. So ignore what I just said. This is the pink currants. You can tell that they set their fruits earlier on in the season and the pigeons just came and destroyed them. Not all of them, so we do still have some growth. We still have some currants there and they are filling out nicely for us. However, they still stripped them. Look at all that at the back there with barely any leaves on them. However, we still have currants, and that is, oh my gosh, I'm just looking back at this, and aphids, pigeons, what else? What's next? What is next? The evidence is still there, but like you can see there, the currants are filling out, so that gave me joy. So whilst they're filling out and whilst they're ripening, I can't give the birds any more chances. I need to net them. This is the raspberry, so these two are both the raspberries. As you can tell, they fill the pots so beautifully. There aren't any weeds underneath them. I did check, and the ones that were there, they were being shaded out of light, so they weren't growing. So that is what I wanted to do initially, actually. Now I can start harvesting the leaves for tea. And these are the gooseberries, first time growing, not my first time growing gooseberries, however, first time actually having them fruit for me. I had them in the allotment, but I didn't keep the allotment, so I don't know what happened to the gooseberries. However, now I have some in these pots and they are growing beautifully. I saw these dots on them, not sure if they're aphids. I'm not sure what they are. I need to research that because I don't want it to be a pest and for all my berries to just die and be eaten before I get a chance to eat them. And look, what did I tell you guys? The hosta season is upon us. Look at how beautiful this is. I love the structure. I love the coloring. It's got a dusty cover to it. It's like a silvery blue. It's so beautiful and full. Gorgeous. And they love the shade. So the hosta will be living by the berries and the currants. So this is the blueberry. Just checking which variety it is. It's the Denise Blue. So they are growing beautifully as well from 10p plants. I'm not mad at all. It's already started setting flowers. I know next year it will grow even more. I did feed it with ericaceous, so at the end of the season I'll give it more ericaceous, or maybe even in the middle of summer. Give it more ericaceous once the petals fall off and the berries are actually swelling, just so I can encourage them to grow and fruits. So this is another one. I believe this is another Denise Blue. Next to it, look at how prolific it has become. We're going to get so many blueberries this year. I'm so chuffed. I can't wait. And that's another reason why I put the net in, because I didn't want the birds eating all the blueberries before we had a chance to eat them. These are going to be eaten in summer for fresh eating. I'll be having smoothies every day. We'll be baking them into cakes. We'll be having them in as compote on top of cakes. So we have so many plans. It would have been nicer with the currants, but what we have we'll make do with. As you can see, the blueberries are forming, so all the petals that you see that are brown and shriveled, it means that a berry has formed beneath it or behind it. So it's been pollinated, and as the season goes on, it's going to swell into blueberries for us, or they're going to swell into blueberries. Just there, you see that blue bit there? That's going to be the blueberry. Voila, how beautiful. So happy with them. And we have a black currants coming up. I'll just show you. That's what the black currants look like. So all the currants grow differently, and I never knew that until I grew currants. And this is the patch. We're ready for more work later on. So it's now time to lay out the garden and see how it would look. I am very excited because there's so much going on. Let me get out of the sun a little bit. Let me go this side. Better. So I'm very excited because there's so much going on. There's a lot of things to plan, lots of places to move the pots. So I'm just going to get covered in sun cream and get started with that. I'm going to end the video here though, because you've seen a lot of what's happened already. And then next week you have a brand new insight as to what the garden looks like, what I've done. I might show you a few clips of me working in the garden, just so you can see how I process and how I do things. So thank you for watching today. I'll see you next week. God bless and have a wonderful rest of your weekend. Bye. Enjoy the long weekend if you're in the UK. Woo, long weekend. See you later. Take care. God bless.